20 memorable quotes from Film 310 to Yuma-1957. 310 to Yuma-1957, directed by Delmer Daves, is a classic western centered on the psychological battle between a struggling rancher, Dan Evans, played by Van Heflin, and notorious outlaw Ben Wade, Glenn Ford. Evans is hired to escort Wade to a train that will take him to prison, the 310 to Yuma. Set against the backdrop of moral dilemmas, the film explores themes of courage, honor, and sacrifice. Evans, desperate for money to support his drought-stricken farm, accepts the dangerous task despite knowing Wade's gang will stop at nothing to rescue him. The tension builds as Evans and Wade engage in intense conversations about right and wrong, with Wade trying to bribe Evans into letting him go. The film's suspense lies in the growing respect between the two men, and whether Evans can withstand the pressure to see his mission through. It's a gripping tale of personal integrity. Bisbee Marshall. Do I have 2 volunteers? First posse member. We gotta know what we're getting ourselves into. Second posse member. Sure. Might not be safe. Bisbee Marshall. Safe. Who knows what's safe? I knew a man dropped dead from looking at his wife. My own grandmother fought the Indians for 60 years. Then choked to death on lemon pie. Do I have 2 volunteers? Ben Wade. Hey, you know you look kind of skinny. Emmy. I feel skinny. Ben Wade. That's all right. I don't mind a skinny girl. Just so. She has blue eyes to make up for it. You got blue eyes. Emmy. Brown. Ben Wade. That's all right. They don't have to be blue. Dan Evans. Why did you do it, Ben? Ben Wade. I don't like owing anybody any favors. You saved my life back at the hotel. That's all right. I've broken out of Yuma before. Dan Evans. Well, my job's finished when I get you there. Mrs. Alice Evans. Oh Dan, I don't want a hero, I want you. Dan Evans. Honest to God, if I didn't have to do it, I wouldn't, but I heard Alex scream. The town drunk gave his life because he believed that people should be able to live in decency and peace together. Do you think I can do less? Mrs. Alice Evans. Well, I'm glad you're back safe. Heavens, anything could have happened. Dan Evans. Well, there was no danger. Not to us, anyway. Mrs. Alice Evans. It just seems so terrible. Dan Evans. Why? What's terrible? Mrs. Alice Evans. Nothing. Dan Evans. What's the matter? Mrs. Alice Evans. Nothing. It seems terrible that something bad can happen and all anybody can do is stand by and watch. Dan Evans. Lots of things happen where all you can do is stand by and watch. Ben Wade. Now don't go blaming yourself, because it isn't your fault, you know. He'd have seen the same thing in Benson or Huachuca. No matter where you take me, somebody would be ridden for help right now. You see, when one of us gets caught, we figure out all the places where they might take us and then we send one man ahead to each of those places. And wait. And watch. Ben Wade. And quote. I've always liked you, Dan. But you're stubborn. And quote. Dan Evans. And quote. You ever been scared? Scared like you couldn't breathe. And quote. Ben Wade. And quote. I've done a lot of bad things, Dan. Most people think I like to kill, but I don't. I only do it when I have to. And quote. Dan Evans. And quote. It's funny. I'm broke, and everybody else is scared. And quote. Ben Wade. and quote. All day long I've been thinking how I can help you, Dan. You and me could partner up, make some money together, and quote. Dan Evans. And quote. Money isn't everything. And quote. Ben Wade. And quote. You've got a fight in you, Dan. That's what I like about you. And quote. Ben Wade. And quote. You're kind of a strong man, aren't you, Dan? And quote. Dan Evans. And quote. Sometimes you have to be strong when you don't feel like it. And quote. Ben Wade. And quote. You're taking me to the 310 to Yuma. You're taking me in alone. Are you that brave? And quote. Dan Evans. And quote. I've got a family to think about. And quote. Ben Wade. And quote. I'm a man, not a beast. And quote. Dan Evans. And quote. You're a killer, Ben. And quote. Ben Wade. And quote. I'm a professional. And quote. Charlie Prince. And quote. You're a fool, Dan. And quote. Dan Evans. And quote. Maybe I am. And quote. Ben Wade. And quote. I've never seen a man so afraid of dying. And quote. Dan Evans. And quote. I'm afraid of what happens after. And quote. Ben Wade. And quote. There ain't no after. And quote. Charlie Prince. And quote. You're a dead man, Dan.